We're gonna make a candle luminaria, and here's the sample right here. I have the lights on in my room, so it's kind of hard to see. So I'm gonna turn my phone around so you can see my tabletop and my hands, and I'll show you how to make one. I usually start by making a slab, and I put it around a toilet paper roll. I made a bunch of pots that way. So, but this time what I did was I didn't put a bottom on it because our luminaria is going to be open on the bottom, so we can put it right over a candle. Okay, and I recommend that you use this kind, the battery operated, because you know, I don't know what's in this clay. If there's any kind of plastic and it's heating up, that might not be good. It's supposed to be made from earthen material, but who knows. Okay, so the reason why I put it on here is so that I can work on it without the form collapsing, and this just gives it a nice support. So I'm going to cut some shapes out, and I'm just going to be using a pin tool. So this was made with a slab, okay? And I put wax paper on the toilet paper tube. And I'm going to leave, you can look at my door. I left a little bit of clay here just to make it structurally sound. So I'm going to cut out a door and some windows, and then I'm going to make a top by pinching, add some texture, and then attach it. So these are quick sketches in clay. I don't usually finish the project while I'm doing a Facebook Live, but it should give you a good idea of how to put things together. So just clean that up with my modeling tool, and maybe give you some ideas for projects that you can do. There is a video on our Facebook page and on YouTube of how to make a Christmas tree luminaria, if you're interested in that. I kind of got this pointed top on the door here by accident, but we're going to go with that. All right, I'm going to cut a few windows over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off of the tube. And again, if I weren't doing this so quickly, I would spend some more time cleaning it up. Always fun to peel this out. Something about it is very satisfying. And just to strengthen it, I do have a seam right there. I'm just going to kind of go over that a little bit. That's from where I put the slab together. Okay, so now I want to pinch the clay that I have into a little roof. And of course you can do something different than this. It could be a lot shorter, but I like that. It's kind of whimsical. So I probably don't need all of this clay. I'm going to tear off a little bit. And first thing I like to do is roll it into a smooth ball, as smooth as I can get it. That's a good place to start. Basically, we're making a pinch pot. So I'm going to sink my thumb through here, but not all the way through. Kind of like putting an olive on your finger. And then I'm squeezing and I'm rotating. I'm squeezing here, and I'm also squeezing with this hand and shaping it. So I'm going to want this to be long. So I don't want to squeeze out and pull it out. I'm pulling down, and I'm also squeezing this and pulling it up at the same time, because if I want to have a little pointed top, I need to start working on that now. And actually I used a popsicle stick to get the texture of the shingles on the roof, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm kind of making like a long Hershey, said that wrong, Hershey kiss shape. And so at about this point, I want to check that it fits on here, and I want it to hang over. So it's not wide enough yet. So I'm gonna pinch and kind of flare it out a bit at the bottom. Go all the way around and then see if it fits better. Yep, we're getting there. A little bit more. And that's good. So if you don't use the same technique I did, which was to use the toilet paper tube, make sure that you're making it the correct size for the battery operated candle. You don't want to make it and then realize that it doesn't fit, because that's no fun. Okay, so I'm going to use my popsicle stick to make texture. And I'm going to start up here, and just to give you an idea what it looks like inside. So I'm just going to press like that. And start at the top and work my way down. You could even make like a little gingerbread house luminaria. That would be really fun this time of year. Or I don't know if you've ever seen those vintage, they call them putz houses, P-U-T-Z. They were made out of paper. They were like little homes in churches, and then they would put a little tiny light inside, like a kind of like a Christmas light, but just one. And those, I love those. Those are so sweet. So as you may know, Pop-Up Art School is myself and Janelle, and Janelle does a Facebook Live usually on Sundays. We almost always announce it on the page before we do it. And she usually does a drawing tutorial. Last week she did gingerbread houses. We also teach classes, art classes in libraries. And we have quite a few booked for the rest of December. And you can find those on our site, which is popupartschool.com. And we also teach on Outschool, which is somewhere where you can take virtual classes for kids. So we're on there as Pop-Up Art School, and then I'm on there under the name Lisa Walker, and I do teach one clay class, which is called Miniature Clay Food with Cute Faces. And each week, the class votes on what kind of food they want to make the next week. So this week, they all voted that they want to make ice cream. So we're going to do ice cream two ways. One that's in ice cream in a bowl, and then the other one is an ice cream cone. You don't need fancy tools. You really just need your hands and some simple things. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. It looks a little bit neater. Okay, so I want to attach this onto here. So I'm just looking to see about where it hits, and I'm going to mark it right about there. And to attach a clay piece to another clay piece, you have to slip and score. So up to about this level, I'm going to score with my pin tool, and I'm roughing up the surface, and I have to do it on both pieces. And then I'll add a little bit of water to it, or slip, and then put them together. If you do not do that, your pieces will fall apart. So this is essential whenever you're working with clay. I actually have another tool that makes it go faster. You don't need to watch me score for a long time. So here's my slip, and I have a little brush, and I'm not adding a whole lot of water, just kind of enough to fill those grooves, and you only need to put it on one side. And so now I'm just pressing gently to help connect those a little bit better. So now that you have this, you can kind of play around with this top. So on this one, I have it tilted over to the side. You can just leave it like this, or you can tilt it over. Give it a little bit of attitude. And then I'll go in and I'll clean up all of these windows and then paint it with acrylic paint once it's dried. And it usually takes a couple days for something like this to dry. So thanks for watching today. Keep in touch with our Facebook page and just look for when we post when we're doing these again. So anyway, if you celebrate any of the holidays coming up, happy holidays and Happy New Year.